In 2020, Veterans in Action planned for a big year with 2 overland expeditions. The first being to commemorate the 75th anniversary of victory in Europe, where the team planned to drive from Normandy, France to Berlin, following the route by British units during World War II. The second overland expedition was to be our first visits to the deserts of Morocco, where the team would drive across the Sahara Desert. Due to COVID-19, our plans changed, and our vehicles were retasked to work within the local community, helping those who were vulnerable or isolated. Our aim was to continue to help veterans, using the skill sets from the forces to help the community, by veterans collecting donated food from members of the public, which would be delivered to Andover self-isolation group, who would then sort into care packages, which the veterans would then deliver to those in need. This would enable veterans to be involved and stop them from being isolated, and essentially they would be helping themselves by helping others. Our first task each day is to work out a route plan for each vehicle to collect the donated food from members of the public.
Yeah, if you will, and then I'll show
Perfect. Thank you.
Lovely, cheers, thanks a lot, much appreciated.
I think the biggest thing is stop them being isolated. A lot of our guys that we work very, very hard to get them out doing things, and then when COVID-19 struck, they're all told to isolate, and we didn't want that to happen because that could set them further back mentally. So we wanted to keep them active, and this was the ideal role for us to re-roll our vehicles to be able to help the local community. Many veterans find it difficult to integrate into society. For those who suffer from post-traumatic stress disorder, this is even tougher. One of the aims for the veterans on this project was to enable them to engage with the public on many levels, from those donating to those needing care packages. Keith Tucker served in the 17th 21st Lancers and has been involved with Veterans in Action for 5 years. First taking part on a 4,000-mile long-distance walk around the coastline of the UK. Keith is now an ambassador for the charity, helping those who have followed in his footsteps. This simple interaction between veterans and members of the public is huge for the veterans' confidence and self-esteem. And you can physically see the veterans grow within themselves, and this transfers to their day-to-day life.
Hello. We've got some food for you.
Yeah, that's it. If you just put it on the step, I feel take the point for you.
There we go.
Lovely, thank you very much. Much appreciated.
No problem.
Yeah.
One thing that veterans struggle with is the transition to civilian life. So they tend to stick to like their own kind of veteran society. This has allowed them to engage with the community like they've never have done. It took them a long time to get there. But I think as you've seen today, they're talking to the community, they're out there helping them, and they're being noticed for what they were doing, which is huge for their own self-worth and self-esteem. The response from the public of Andover has been nothing short of remarkable, and has gone a long way to helping these veterans come through what is a long road to recovery. Not only members of the public, but also local shopkeepers. Everyone has their part to play. Once collections have been completed, all vehicles return to the Veterans in Action Alive Centre, where donations are sorted into different categories. team do this together, which again triggers memories from service days when they were used to working as a team to complete a task, something many veterans have lost since leaving the services. This teamwork is the true ethos behind the work carried out by Veterans in Action to help those who suffer.
Good.
And in our experience, most veterans miss being part of a team.
Yeah. Are they all soup? Yeah, yeah. Right. Any more soups?
Once all items are sorted, they are loaded back into the vehicles, ready to go to the handover self-isolation group. I think for veterans, they always want to feel as if they've got something to contribute. A lot of the time when leaving the services, we don't know where we quite fit into society again, and this is giving them a way into society that will continue after this is all over.
Joined the army in '72 as a boy soldier in a tank regiment, armoured car regiment. Went to Ireland, which is where I got my PTSD from, and left because I didn't want to go back to Ireland again, and that's it. I went on a walk with them 5 years ago around the coast of Great Britain, and I intended to go for 2 weeks. That's all I planned to do, and I did 3 out of the 4 months. Her indoor said I'd come home sometime. And it was the first time that I didn't know what PTSD was before then. I just thought I had mental health problems. I had no idea what it was, and I was with like-minded people. You've seen how we are. And it was the start of the recovery, and it's a thing that I always go back to. If I have a bad day, I go back to the walk and the good times we had on that. It has been, in the recovery, it's been the most important thing in my life. With PTSD, isolation is the biggest problem. You start by, you isolate yourself from everyone you know, you then isolate in your house, you then just stay in one room, and in the end, you just stay in your head, you just don't move. And it was difficult at first when the government was saying you can't go anywhere, and the police were enforcing no movement. You get anxious, and once you get anxious, you start not doing the things you're meant to be doing mentally. And so instead of living for today, you live in the past, and that's where the danger comes and you get the relapses. If you do something for somebody else, you feel better yourself. I mean, I haven't been very good the last couple of days. I've got the humps, I can't do this, I can't do that. I can't even remember why I was upset now, because it's gone. You get out, you do things. The great thing is that, excuse me, it's always accessible. You don't have to make an appointment. And I think that's the difference between this and most charities. If you need to speak to Billy, he'll make time. You might have to wait half an hour if he's talking to someone else, but they're always there for you. The people who knew me 15 years ago, I didn't do anything for anybody, including myself. And now, yeah, it's all about other people. It's not about me.
Once loaded, the team make their way to the isolation group, which is run by Vicky Harbour and our team of volunteers who work tirelessly, not just to sort out the food packages, but also to collect and deliver prescriptions.
Basically, we've turned the lounge bar of my pub, Queen Charlotte, into a food bank style operation for the self-isolated in Andover. So we get food deliveries in every day from the general public that Billy and the guys at Veterans in Action are collecting for us. We then sort it, make sure everything's in date, organise it so we can see what it is, and then as we get requests come in from those people that are isolating and can't get out, then we will put together their shopping list for them and call Billy back to go and take it out to them. they're starting to know some of the addresses now, because obviously as this has gone on for 6 weeks now, there's some people that are repeat customers, as it were, so they're getting to know those people as well. So it's much better to have the veterans in action do this and know the addresses and know the people than those isolated and vulnerable people having a new face every week, which can be a bit intimidating. Initially, we sort of thought, well, we're not going to need those, are we? We'll just get a volunteer to drop off a package every now and then. So initially, they started delivering out leaflets for us because they've got the trucks and can go further afield. And it very quickly became clear that having someone with some nice big trucks that are also branded as well would be really useful. The branding obviously helps those people that we're delivering to recognise that it is us that are coming and knocking on their door. Billy's doing his little podcasts every night as well to keep people informed, which is fab. So everyone knows the contact details of both here and the veterans and knows how they can donate food, but also be a recipient of. The majority of them are really grateful. We've been called angels and lifesavers, and there's been some real heart-wrenching stories that we've heard from people that have maybe just come out of hospital, having been in there for weeks and didn't even know what was going on. So it's been a real lifeline, and we're almost making friends with some of those people on the phone, so they're very grateful.
This works lots of different ways. I know you've been and spoke to the self-isolation group. They're getting great benefits from doing what they're doing. I think they have about 100 volunteers involved. So there's lots and lots of people come together to make this all work. We at Veterans Action just do what we do and using the tools that we've got to be able to help with that.
We're going to back up. Down. Yeah. So we'll keep that one there, mate, okay? These three all together, yeah?
Our afternoons are taken up by delivering care packages.
The main aim is to get them out doing things that are practical, that they can be with their peers, mixed within a group that understand where they're coming from, they talk the same language, and about moving forward together, so they all share their experiences with each other, and what works, what didn't work, and they're really doing their own therapy. The therapy is just their own self-therapy, and that's the best way forward. You can go through any therapies, but it's what you do with the tools you're given after therapy that's the most important thing. What we're doing is giving them the tools to either go into therapy or after therapy.
Stephen Riley served in the Royal Military Police and served on tours in Afghanistan and is one of our newest members. Before getting involved, just before COVID-19, Stephen had been isolated for a long time, rarely leaving his house. This project couldn't have come at a better time for Stephen, and he has thrived within the team, which is noticeable not only to us, but to all his family members.
Good day.
I think what this has proved to them is that they're a valuable part of the community, and that's something hopefully we'll help with for them to continue this long after COVID-19 is over, because I think it's great for their mental well-being and their standing in the community.
I'm doing this right now. It actually gets me out of the house and away from my own mental health issues. We actually get to see the generosity of the community who's donating all the food. It's just been absolutely amazing, as you've seen from today. It's so much food. I've actually seen the appreciation of people that receive it, which has been really nice, and just a nice thank you is just lovely. So it's very rewarding and self-healing, and I find it quite positive for my mental health. So yeah, it's been really good. I've been isolating myself away at home really, so I haven't been getting out. Just with having the mental health issues that I have, I find it quite difficult to get out, but this has given me a bit of a drive and determination to get out and help other people and help myself. I've been quite surprised, because having been isolated for years, actually getting out of the house and doing something positive, it has taken by surprise, but very pleasantly by surprise. It's a bit odd, but it's certainly worthwhile. It's definitely worthwhile. It's just lovely getting out and seeing everybody and putting a smile on people's faces, really, which is good. It's really had definitely a massive positive impact on my mental health, because I wouldn't have been out doing this a few months ago. I just wouldn't have been out of the house on Wednesday. So it really has had a really positive impact, and my family's seen that as well as myself seeing that, which is quite nice. Yeah, I feel good. I feel positive. I think helping someone else helps you really inside as well, and so you do go home feeling really good. It's lovely.
We tend not to like using the word frontline because that can have a negative connotation as well. But yeah, you are right. They're actually in the forefront of everything that's happening just now, and that's huge for them.